first year I started at Carl Kuster Mountain Park, I think was 2012 or 2013. I've kind of been taking over and run the operations at Carl Kuster Mountain Park. I started snowboarding when I was a kid. That was kind of what got me into it. By the time I was 17, 18, I had the desire for more than what the ski hill had to offer. So I started getting into the backcountry via snowmobiles. And then, like a lot of people, the more you ride snowmobiles, you start leaving the skis and snowboard at home. That's kind of what got me hooked on the idea that I wanted to make that, transition from, being a working kid to, hey, I want to do this for a job. I want to spend my career in the backcountry, sharing with people what I love to do. For me, snowmobiling has always been about an adventure. It's always been about going somewhere I haven't been before, seeing new things and, being able to put together a skill set to get into whatever terrain or wherever I want to go that I've decided. I think a big part of riding snowmobiles for me and enjoying it as a whole is also the mechanical side of it and understanding and figuring out how things work, whether it's anything from shock valving and setup to front end geometry and the thought process of breaking down, hey, why does this handle like this? What makes this react like this? And figuring out what makes it, how we can make them better for every consumer, not just one person. We're building sleds for Sicamous and Revelstoke and our snowpack here, but we need to make something that works for everything, right? So whether it's coming from racing and how the sleds handle in that kind of condition also translates into how they handle in a backcountry setting as well. Hill climb racing is a new thing to me. We've been going down to Jackson for a couple of years now. Definitely something that I really enjoy, the back end of it, the racing side of it, whether it's putting time in practicing at home. I can put time into racing, which doesn't have to always be an all-day adventure. This year I'm excited. I'll be racing LYNX, hopefully a couple sleds down at Jackson this year, and definitely looking forward. I mean, it's a kind of monumental moment for LYNX as a brand, and obviously me. I'm excited to be potentially the first person to race Jackson Hole on a LYNX sled, which has never been done before. So that's good, and definitely appreciate the racing background of LYNX too, and their desire to support me, whether it's just as a hobby sort of style of thing, as much as an ambassador, right? My take on the PPS rear suspension being designed in Finland where they don't have groomed trails, so sort of around the idea that everything's rough and can handle a lot of abuse on the trail as well as when you're out in the backcountry. It definitely is a lively rear suspension, and sometimes I feel like I use the brake more to control it, but it definitely can absorb. Has a better bottom ring resistance, I would find, than the torsion spring out of a Skidoo. Having rode Skidoo for so long in the T-Motion, it's kind of a refreshing new take again to go back to a fixed skid, which tracks nicely. I think it'll be good for racing, where it's a really planted feel, whether you're side hilling or hard pack cornering. You don't get the wobble out of it that you do out of a T-Motion as much. So I'm excited for the winter on it for sure. I appreciate LYNX as a brand under the idea that it's built to be sort of tough. It's, it is the idea of out early and home late, and you can it takes the beating, and the more you put into it, the more it'll give back to you. I always wanted to show up and prove on the ground what I can do versus telling you what I can do. And that fits the LYNX brand to me.